The stories of the prophets are a collection of narratives that describe the lives of the prophets sent by God to guide humanity to monotheism and the worship of God alone. These stories vary, including prophets mentioned in the Quran as well as in other holy scriptures, like the Torah and the Bible. Here is an overview of some of the most significant stories of the prophets. The story of Adam, peace be upon him. Adam, the first human created by God, lived in paradise with his wife Eve after God created him from clay. Adam learned the names of all things and lived in paradise, but Satan tempted them to eat from the forbidden tree. After they were sent down to earth, Adam repented to God and lived as the father of humanity. The story of Adam marks the beginning of human history on this earth. The story of Noah, peace be upon him. Noah, a prophet sent by God, called his people to monotheism and to abandon idol worship, but they rejected his message and persisted in their disobedience. Following God's command, Noah began building the ark despite the mockery of his people. When the flood came, Noah and those who believed in him were saved, while the disbelievers drowned. This story reminds us of the consequences of denying the truth and arrogance in the face of God's call. The story of Abraham, peace be upon him. Abraham, the father of the prophets, opposed idol worship from a young age and called his people to worship the one true God. Abraham faced a great test when God commanded him to sacrifice his son Ishmael, but he obeyed God's command with complete devotion. God then provided a ram in place of Ishmael, making this event a symbol of obedience and full submission to God's will. The story of Moses, peace be upon him. Moses, a prophet sent by God to deliver the Israelites from the tyranny of Pharaoh, confronted Pharaoh with God's message. After a long struggle, God supported Moses with miracles, including the parting of the Red Sea, to allow Moses and his people to escape Pharaoh's army. His life was filled with trials and challenges, but it teaches a profound lesson about patience and trusting in God's promises. The story of Jesus, peace be upon him. Jesus, born miraculously to the Virgin Mary, was a prophet who called his people to worship God alone. God supported him with many miracles, such as raising the dead and healing the sick by God's permission. Despite the rejection of some, God raised Jesus to himself, and he was not crucified as some believe, demonstrating that God's will prevails over all. The story of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Muhammad, the final prophet, was sent to all of humanity as a messenger of peace and guidance. Born in Mecca, he received the revelation of the Quran and called people to worship God alone, rejecting idolatry and injustice. Despite the persecution he faced, he continued spreading the message of Islam with patience and wisdom. His migration to Medina marked the beginning of the Islamic community, and through his leadership, Islam spread throughout Arabia. Muhammad's life is a model of mercy, justice, and devotion to God. The stories of the prophets are a source of wisdom and lessons, teaching us obedience to God and steadfastness in faith. Each prophet faced their own challenges, but all were exemplary in their belief and patience. From their stories, we can draw lessons that bring us closer to God and teach us the true meaning of life.